small town of Blackwood was nestled in a valley perpetually shrouded by mist. It was a quiet place, the kind where time seemed to stand still, but everyone knew the old Hargrove Manor, sitting at the edge of the forest, was anything but ordinary. No one had lived there for decades, not since the disappearance of the Hargrove family. The story went that one night in the dead of winter, the family vanished without a trace, leaving behind a dinner table set for 5 and a single candle still burning. Emily, a documentary filmmaker, had always been fascinated by the unexplained. When she heard of Hargrove Manor, she couldn't resist. Her crew was small, just her best friend, Liam, and her younger sister, Grace. They planned to spend one night in the manor, documenting the experience for her upcoming project. As they approached the mansion, a sense of unease settled over them. The windows were like dark, hollow eyes, watching their every move. The front door creaked open without resistance, as if inviting them in. Inside, the air was heavy and cold, carrying the faint smell of burnt wood and something metallic. The wallpaper peeled in long, curling strips, and the wooden floor groaned under their weight. They set up their equipment in the dining room, the very place where the Hargrove family had vanished. The long mahogany table was still there, though warped and splintered with age. Grace shivered. "Why does it feel like we're being watched?" Liam laughed nervously. "It's just your imagination." But as the night went on, it became clear that Grace wasn't imagining things. Around midnight, the cameras picked up something strange. In the corner of the dining room, the shadows seemed to ripple, as if alive. Liam brushed it off as a trick of the light, but Emily felt a knot of dread forming in her stomach. They decided to conduct an EVP, electronic voice phenomenon session. Emily held the recorder and asked, "Is there anyone here with us?" For a moment, there was silence. Then the recorder crackled to life. "Leave," a whisper hissed. Grace's face turned pale. Was that real? Before Emily could respond, the temperature in the room plummeted. Their breath became visible, hanging in the air like ghostly mist. The shadows in the corner began to stretch, creeping toward them like dark tendrils. The whispering began, soft at first, then louder, overlapping voices that seemed to come from every direction. Liam stood, backing away from the table. "This isn't funny, Emily." "I'm not doing this," she snapped, her voice trembling. Grace suddenly screamed. On her arm, a red hand-shaped welt was forming, as if someone unseen had grabbed her. "We need to get out of here," she cried, tears streaming down her face. But when they tried to leave, the front door wouldn't budge. The windows, which had seemed so fragile, were now unyielding, as though sealed by an invisible force. The whispering grew louder, the words becoming clearer. "Stay with us forever." Emily turned to Liam, panic in her eyes. "What do we do?" Liam grabbed a nearby chair and swung it at the dining room window. The glass shattered, but instead of the cool night air, an impenetrable darkness seeped through, spilling into the room like living ink. Emily realized the truth too late. The Hargrove family hadn't left. They had been consumed by the manor. The shadows weren't just specters. They were the remnants of every soul the house had claimed. The whispering turned to laughter, mocking, malevolent. The darkness enveloped Liam first, pulling him into its depths. His screams echoed in the room, then abruptly stopped. Grace clung to Emily, sobbing. "We can't let it take us." But the shadows were relentless. They dragged Grace into the void, her terrified cries cutting off like a light being snuffed out. Emily was alone now. The shadows surrounded her, their voices a cacophony of despair and rage. She clutched the recorder, her only connection to the outside world. "If anyone finds this," she whispered, tears streaming down her face, "don't come here. Don't listen to the whispers. The manor, it's alive. It wants you. It will never let you go." As the darkness closed in, her voice was swallowed by the shadows. Months later, a group of hikers stumbled upon the broken remains of Emily's camera equipment near the edge of the forest. The footage they recovered was shaky, chaotic, filled with distorted audio and shadowy figures. The last image on the tape was Emily's terrified face, staring into the camera, her voice barely a whisper. "It's not just a house, it's a trap. And now, I'm part of it." The hikers never returned,